Hi Vandasa, welcome to my channel. I've just parked here outside so that we can talk Bandas. Hey son, it's been a while since we've spoken. I miss you. Bandas, matters are rising. Today Bandas, I want to talk about the power of forgiveness. And what that means for you and me. And when I say forgiveness, it's people who have done things to you intentionally and unintentionally. Okay, people have hurt you. And I'm not just talking about strangers that you've let in your life foolishly, Bandas. And I say foolishly because you and me as an adult, we should know better. It should take a lot for someone to convince you to trust them with your life. For us as adults to let someone convince you with just mere words. And then the next thing when you're trusting that person and you're letting them into your life. That is very foolish of you and me, Bandas. We should know better. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't be convinced by words. It takes a lot. I thought about so many things, but the thing that stuck with me was the power of forgiveness, Bandas. And what that does to you as a person. You not only let go, Bandas. That person that has hurt you becomes news of the past. They no longer trigger you, darling. Yeah, Bandas, whatever they do, and you're able to move on now, and you're wiser. Sure, imagine someone just used their words, Bandas, to convince you that you can trust them with your life. Imagine, and they are worthy of your trust. And therefore, darling, you let your guard down, and this person, boom, sana, they do you dirty, and you're shocked. You shouldn't be shocked, Bandas. When people hurt you, strangers hurt you, because you were so naive, and you let people use their words on you to tell you, but you can trust them. I'm saying used their words to convince you that you can trust them, Bandas, with your life, with sensitive areas of your life, Bandas. And if you've put yourself in a compromising position, you've let yourself become weak, all because you wanted to trust someone, all because someone just used their simple words, trust me. And Bandas, sana, Bandas, as women, I'm gonna just start there. We deal with a lot of broken people, Bandas. Wherever we go, first of all, people who don't want to do the work, people who know that they are broken but refuse to do the work. They end up being our friends, and partners and husbands. Then we find ourselves in very compromising situations where we have to negotiate on a daily basis how we are treated. And yet people should already know how to treat other people, but because we're dealing with a lot of broken people, and there are so many of them wherever you go. Do you know how tiring is that, Bandas, having to negotiate about how people treat you? Bandas, it's a lot of work. It's exhausting. That should tell you, but there's a lot of broken people out there, and these people end up being our friends, Bandas, our partners, our husbands as well. And then we have to deal now with this broken person. And I'm emphasizing us as women, girls, Bandas, because we are able to recognize, most of the time. I'm gonna say 80% of women, Bandas, we recognize where we need to do the work, and we do the work, and then we have to deal now with other people who don't want to do the work. Bandas, now it becomes our problem, in our homes, at work, Bandas, friends as well. We have to negotiate each and every encounter. It leaves you so confused, Bandas, because you live in a state of high alert, actually, because now you have to wonder, I wonder injani mood yakhe namhlanje so that I can adjust myself, because I don't want to trigger, I don't want to trigger a reaction that will end up into an argument. Or I don't want to trigger a reaction that will end up in a sort of a conflict, or you find in other situations, Bandas, with men, especially, no, are you trying to confront me, or are you trying to tell me what to do. And then with friends, you get people that if you're a truthful person, they don't like it. But they'll call you names, but yo, you're brutal, you're this, you're that, because you're stating the truth. So you encounter all those kinds of people. Directing this to my sissy that are very naive, but you should know that there's different kinds of people in this world. Don't trust a person before they show you action. People like to say things, umlomo can say anything that it wants to say. In fact, I can say, I'm a millionaire, uzawuthini and that, but I'm a millionaire. I was on Pikisa, you understand? Until I show you. So it's the same principle, do not let someone tell you. Yeah, the bonus and funubon. You understand? Hence, again, we get hurt, even in relationships, even in friendships, even at work. Can you imagine you give someone your career? As you trust back a lot of manage career yam, and therefore they know the progression steps and all of that. Anyway, now I'm speaking from my previous experience. Yeah, but it doesn't work like that. Yo, hayi elanga sana. Injalo ecala abantazi mandi jike ndijonge ngasegarage yabo. Because elanga sana. I don't know. I know about my skin is skinning, but yeah, but so I had to move that side. Yeah? The sun. Sana, the people that we deal with, some have trigger words, man, words that you can't use around them, because kaloku sana, it might trigger a reaction, and then whatever conversation that you were having might end up into an argument. Can you imagine that, the kinds of broken people that we're dealing with? And unfortunately, most of them are men, who don't want to do the work, who know about they have an issue, they have unresolved issues, but they don't want to deal with those issues. Rather, again, you're going to meet them as bosses, as friends, as husbands. And then those people, some they just have egos that out of nowhere umuntu want to exercise their ego, and out of nowhere they are triggered by what you're saying, or that you're challenge, or you are trying to challenge my authority. Now you always have to explain to me about why are you saying no on something that I'm asking for. Or if we're having a conversation, you have to tell me about why are you saying no. There should be a reason behind everything. Now you get people that don't even want to have a conversation. But I told you, this is what you must do. Therefore, you must do it. Now it might be in a work setting, it might be at home, but you get, especially men, I'm going to say, you get men like that who have not done the work. Now, we have to deal with this. And I'm saying this, from experience, and I want Osisibe to know you're going to encounter such men. They're just egotistic, just full of egos, most of them. Most men, not all of them, they're just full of egos. Basemsebenzini, abanye baziitshomi zethu, abanye ngomalume that have to reside on our matters. Yeah, ne? Others actually are our family members, our fathers, by the way, Now imagine having to forgive your own relatives. Imagine that situation. You find that out there are still mothers who are raising boys that who cannot wash dishes, boys who cannot do their bed. Now ndiyakhumbula mna sisataka kaloku besizintombi sikhule yaqonda uxa utakile uyayibona uba nale bhedi ayondlulwanga, umntu uvele wayithi nje. I mean, what is that? For yourself, for your own self-respect, you have to organize indawo ohlala kuyo, just for your own self-respect, and how you organize indawo ohlala kuyo, your day becomes organized. So those are the people that you get in your life, you bring into your life, and as now you get to interact with those kinds of people. And you have not mastered their own lives, and then you end up with those people who have not done the work inside themselves, and then they end up hurting you, because when me and you have chosen to believe this person out of what they are saying, just words, and they convinced you, but they are all that, and it shouldn't be. I don't know if it's desperation sometimes to have friendships, or it's desperation to be accepted, or you just want to be quiet. I understand in a work setting sometimes you can you don't want to get into a confrontation or Lena, you let it slide. It's just egos, but in a home environment, I know as we speak namhlanje, there are mothers who let their boys not wash dishes. I mean, we are training that child who's going to be someone else's husband tomorrow, someone else's pillar of strength, and they cannot do anything. You can't leave them with the kids. Yeah, Babandas, hey. So all of this is on us as women. Ne? I mean, come back from home is chaotic apha endlini. It looks like a war zone nje, because kaloku bekushiyeke umntu ongutata apha endlini. It feels so entitled, Bantase, in a way that they tell you, hayi la umsebenzi womama manje, yabona, mna I can't do those. Those are women's jobs, yabona. No, those are women's jobs. We work as well as we also do the jobs. So it would be nice if we help each other. So you get those men about very stubborn, but you cannot tell them. You can't even train us. I know sometimes I'm gonna talk about children, you have to train. Yes, those are ups and downs and all of that, arguments, but at the end of the day, what needs to happen, Sana, must happen. We need to cooperate, we need to help each other. At the end of the day, no one is here to be subservient to another or to serve the other. It's a partnership, so that we progress as a family. We're gonna talking from a marital point of view, nake as a married woman, and then you find kweza partners sina sisakhula xa uyogona nomfana, yabona abantu ne akho organized man, but you let them, me and you let this person convince you with just mere words, but they are all that. We shouldn't be bandas. We should let actions speak louder than words. And then when they hurt you, and then what happens? What happens is you have no one to blame but yourself. I have not even spoken about relatives. You have a malume that resides on your issues, on your serious issues, on malume that you need to go to when you have serious problems. Relatives. The moment you sense you uncomfortable, you're unhappy, you cut them. You cut them. It's a scam now. Don't your relative. You just give them right to abuse you. It's just another human being. Now you life now now you just cut all of those people and friends. I will just cut them quickly. And new people in your life, you just see from far, us and then you don't get into those kinds of friendships. Because now we hate because you let them use words. We've been in situations, all of us, where we have to forgive strangers who became our friends and partners. But you have to always in your life, you have to let the actions show you umuntu ngubani. Otherwise, as faka usengxakini, having to forgive, having to forget things. And when I'm saying forgive and forget, there's things that you can choose not to forgive. Forgiving is to say, I'm letting go. I know what you've done to me, but you have no power over me. You understand, Amandaze? I will not react. Whatever you do it for yourself. You understand? You have no hold on me. I'm not triggered by your actions. You're no longer part of my life. That's forgiveness. And as it says in the Bible, we have to forgive others. But there's things that we cannot, you've forgiven, but we cannot forget. And there's people that you cannot bring back in your life after you've forgiven them. But as you just forgive him, because it says in the Bible, forgive others. So that you can free yourself. You're doing it for your heart. You're doing it for God. You're not doing it to get those people back into your life. Otherwise, Sana, you'll be stupid. You have wonders. Now you'll be stupid letting the same person hurt you over and over again. And besides, you've known by what kind of person this person is. You have no reason to let them into your life. You're gonna get wonders. So, some of us, banders, have had to forgive our own parents, and hence sometimes I say parents raised us in certain ways because shame, they didn't know better. You understand? Parents have said things, have done things, they have stood behind a certain child, favored certain children, and all of those things. Some parents, because they were raised in a way, look down on women and us, they'll treat you like that because that's all they know. So in that case, you forgive Mandasa, but about this person, this is the kind of person my parents are, but I'm forgiving, I'm honoring God, Mandasa, I'm just forgiving, but I know the kind of person that you are. Do you know how hurtful being hurt by someone that you've trusted, someone you call a family member? Do you know how hurtful is that, Mandas? It changes you now. Hey, Sana, it changes the person that you are, because Galog, you are not expecting that the person that you call a mother or father would hurt you like this, or a relative, a close relative, Mandas, So that all changes the person that you are. But you forgive, Mandas, and then you move on. You make sure you look after yourself. You become your number one. You become number one in your life, and you don't dare give the responsibility of your life to someone else. And I see it happens in London. People giving the responsibility of progression in career to bosses, to other human beings. You don't do that, man. That's promotion and everything else. All of those things, they come from God, not from a human being. But what you do on your side, you make sure that you do everything that needs to be done. If there's a process, you do all of that, and then you tell God when you are ready. He'll make a way not to depend on other human beings. As we've seen now with the countries matters arising, what is happening but us, there's a lot of corruption, because those are human. Does it? But us as children of God, as the Jesus girlies, we are dependent on God only, not other humans. There's a call coming. All these things, they come from God's emotions, God life. As we have seen now with the matters in the country, it tells you about it has nothing to do with God. What hurts me the most as a mother, as a sister, as an adult that I am, is the lack of opportunities. Because everyone has a right to an opportunity. It gives them dignity, it gives them direction. But these days, Zana, you have to be connected, darling. You have to know someone. Even as interviews, the conductor in a way that they already know about bani. It's just a process nje lenziwayo kufakwe laa muntu wabo. But kaloku sana, do not be dismayed. Bangakhathazi loo nto leyo. Because wena kaloku ungumntana kaYesu, darling. He'll make a way for you. And people who get jobs ngolo hlobo bazawuphuma ngola hlobo again. So hence I'm saying whatever you want, Bantazi, in the hands of God. I want to say, Bantazi, if ungumntase wam, ngobig sis wakho, as we always say, ndixelele siyathandana ngohlobo esithandana ngalo. Do me a favor, man. Bantazi? Do me one favor, Bantazi, please. Cow, you must just know la Psalm 23, Pray it, and then until you know it by heart, so that when you enter into certain spaces, Bantazi, you are praying inside, and no one knows physically. Spiritually, they will know whose child you are. But physically, Bantazi, even though you're going to this interview, you are praying, Bantazi, as you sit. So please do me a favor, know that Psalm 23 by heart. It encompasses everything. It is fully loaded. See, now we had an opportunity when we were growing up. There were Christian schools, and as a assembly, we would go and pray, darling. So you pick up certain prayers by heart. So Bible is nothing new. And other kids that grew up like that, Eastern Cape PE, until they did away with religion in schools, because sometimes it's a good idea. We let the parents choose where they want to take their kids. I know there's some schools here. Our coach used to go a Dominican convent. It's somewhere behind GP boys, right? Yeah, she used to go a Dominican convent, a Christian school. It's a very nice foundation for children to know God, besides going to church, besides ministering into our families in our homes, because we have to minister into our families in our home. The church starts there in our families. So please do that for me, my loves, and know that Psalm 23 by heart, Sana, it will make a very big difference in your life. Yeah. So I love Namanda's how we have conversations so that we can talk about real issues, and not act like we've never been hurt. Yeah, or life is all rosy. Life is not all rosy. Yeah, there's days that life is rosy, but there's days that life is not so rosy. But we have to talk about it because it's constant work that we're doing inside out, so that we can be better persons, so that we are better prepared for tomorrow, and then we can face challenges head on, darling. Yeah, without fear. Yeah, gone as others that we are. Yeah, understand, Amanda? So I want you to arm yourself with the information that there's two kinds of people. Do not let people convince you with their words that they can take care of you. They can be a good friend, they can be a good partner, they can be a good spouse. But let me see actions. Let me see actions, so that I can know what I'm getting myself into, so that my tomorrow is secured. It's the way that I want, even if it's 80% account. Yeah, but once you wake up, once you know, yeah, God, because we grow up, we don't know. Yeah, ukuhamba kubona. Yeah, ndiva ke bantazi. Ukuhamba kubona, then we learn ke bantazi. So don't make those mistakes, because we are going to become my age, bantazi. Opex is going to be 52 next year, So you're going to become my age one day. So what kind of a 51-year-old do you want to be? Yeah, bantazi. Ufuna uba 51-year-old enjani? Ufuna uba ngusisi onjani? Ufuna uba ngusisi that sweeps things under the carpet? Or ufuna uba ngusisi that faces izinto head on? And it's not to say uba wena ngoku une-trauma. It means you are serious about your life. And sana, xa ungumntu onjalo, even if friends that are not suitable for you, bandazi, they won't even come to you, because kaloku bayakubona from far. So do that for yourself, bandazi. Always do constant work. Watch, be alert, be aware about abantu, bantazi. You can't just come and convince me about I must trust you with my life as a friend, as a boyfriend, as a partner. Yeah, Kesana, let me leave you, bantazi. So please, Kesana, do that. Psalm 23 for yourself, umazi with your heart, bantazi. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. Amen. And thinking about forgiveness as well, and as I think personally, I also have had to forgive people. From as we grow, people do things to you, some intentionally, some not. But so I've had now to forgive people. I've forgiven them, and as it's so freeing, it's so liberating, and as they have no hold on you. They no longer make you angry, and they're not part of your life. You're free from them. And you know what that does? God grants you favor, by doing that. So I love you. I hope we can hear each other, even though I'm recording some. But kufense man apha madansa, why not? Yebona madansa yo? Apha emotweni yethu sana. Yeah, my love. So please, go in life cautious. I know that things won't happen, that things people won't attempt, but you assess a situation, so that you don't get hurt, so that you don't have to be in a position to be forgiving people. But now that you have a few people to forgive, forgive them, bantas, let them live their life so that you live your life. Let them go from your mind. I know it's been much deeper when you've been hurt by a family member, and it cuts very deep because it's people that we've trusted. It happened to most of us. As long as it's a certain kind of hurt that is forgivable. When I say forgivable, that's a way, darling. And when I say forgivable, Banda, it's things that you can forgive, ne? But don't forget them. They make you wise, and they tell you, they guide you about how you deal with people, what are the things to look for. Yeah, gone. So that you're not this naive, young, weak person. And when I'm saying weak, Banda, it's very weak of you and me to let a stranger convince you, but they are a good person. No, you are good. Your action will tell me, you are a good person. I love you, get dolls. I'm just gonna go in, have my tea. We had a beautiful day. I can't. You're going to go back and let her get a light, You choke a man, but it was too much on the other side. Yeah, I love you, Kebanda. Just a snippet of a discussion, man. You're said Yo, said Big Sis has been busy, ne? Yeah, a nice busy God, not without challenges, Bandase. Your life is challenging, There's decisions I have to make, Bandase. Hey, like decisions, yako kuba nzima uyibona bayihamba njani ndixele. Yo, I'm telling you, Bandase, there's decisions that I need to make, decisions that will impact my future, and even Bandase, decisions that I need to ask God about before I make them. Yeah, and I think I've always told you, but namandasine andimisanga nganto bethunana. Yabona, mhlawumbi incwadi esikolweni okanye i-connection. Oh, ndihambela phambili nguyesu qha bantasemncinci ke ndixelela. Uyaniva bantasemncinci, yabona, endihambela phambili. So imagine a God that loves you before you even know him. Now that I know him, and I say, I'm not letting go of that. So I wish you now a relationship with God, and a very intimate relationship with God, yeah? So that you can tap into your own kind of blessings, and hey, sana, so your safety net. I mean your cushion, darling. When you fall, he's your cushion. Yeah, he's your direction. Direction. When you lack direction, how confused, and there's clarity. You know what's happening, but there's a lot of selfishness, and people are in it for themselves. You can see most in the political atmosphere or what's happening. So Tina Sauthembele ke enkosini, darling. Yaba. And when you're lacking something, you go to ask that thing from Jesus, and that's not another human being. He will grant you all your heart's desires, my loves. I love you, love you, get dolls, and then call it a day. Love you, bye.